Hey, this is a song for my haters. Yeah, you got me feeling like the greatest, yeah.
Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is straight out of Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we have episode 3 of my Around the League series, and today we're doing the Portland Trail Blazers. As you can see, I am facing the New York Knicks in this game. This is actually the first game I attempted to win with this team, so I was pretty happy that I was able to win it in my first attempt. It saved me a lot of time. If you guys remember last week, the Warriors took me a couple tries. It's a little bit frustrating, but anyway, let's get into what I want to talk about, and that is the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, the Trail Blazers are kind of in an era of rebuilding since saying goodbye to Brandon Roy. They've kind of entered this phase where they're probably not going to be looking at the playoffs for the next year or two. But I really like a couple of young pieces on this team. Obviously, you have LaMarcus Aldridge, who I think is a top 3 power forward in the NBA. I think you can put him right up there with Kevin Love and Blake Griffin. I really like his game. He's a good face-up center. He can rebound. He has quick hands. He can get steals. He can get an occasional block, step out. He's even expanded his range to the three-point line of recent, so that's pretty nice to see. I also really like Nicholas Batum. I think that the notion that he was overpaid in the offseason is stupid, because I think that after the Gerald Wallace trade last year, he really proved that he can be a 20-point scorer in this league. Do I think he'll get through this year? I'm not really sure. I don't know what his stats are currently, but I really like this kid. He can shoot the 3, he can rebound, he's a really good defender too. He actually averages like a block a game, so you know, he's pretty athletic, and I just really think this kid has a nice promise, a nice future, I should say. It's a little bit weird, but anyway. I also want to talk about Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, 7 games into the year, is already one of the top candidates for Rookie of the Year. I think his first game, he got 23 points and 11 assists. So if that's a sign of things to come, then you know that this kid's going to be something special. And, you know, obviously he hasn't averaged that his entire season so far, but he's really doing well. He's looking like that type of guy who can pass the ball, get some easy assists, feed his teammates, as well as look for his own shot once in a while. And you can see there in the gameplay, LaMarcus Aldridge showing that face-up ability, hitting that mid-range shot. But anyway, like I said, I really like Damian Lillard. He's here, he can stretch out, hit the 3. He's got a decent shot, not the best, but you know what? He's really, I think he's going to end up being a pass-first point guard in this league. I could see him averaging something like 16 and 8 or 17 and 8, honestly, in his rookie season. He's shown that potential, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to keep it up. Obviously, with a rookie, you have to be aware of decision-making. They usually average more turnovers than usual players. They obviously usually shoot a lower percentage, so you're going to have to look out for that for him. But I really think Lillard's a mature player, and like I said, I really like him. I think he's going to kind of overtake the rookie curve, kind of like when Kyrie Irving did last year. Kyrie Irving really didn't play like a rookie last year. He shot like 50-something%, and I really can see this. I can see this similar thing for Lillard. I'm not trying to compare Kyrie Irving I'm not trying to compare Kyrie Irving and Damian Lillard because they're not similar players at all. Irving's more of a scorer. But, you know, I'm saying that I think they're going to have very similar adjustments to the NBA, and they're going to be very quick ones for both of them. Now, those are really the big 3 main pieces for the future for the Portland Trail Blazers. The rest of this roster is kind of up for air, but I want to talk about 2 guys in particular, and that's Wesley Matthews and J.J. Hickson. Now, I'm going to start with Wesley Matthews. I was not a big fan of Wesley Matthews coming into last year, but he's really proven himself to be a good 3-point shooter. I went off with him in this game. I think he ends up getting the player of the game, but you know, he's really proven himself. He can play some defense, which is nice to see. You always want that typical shooting guard who can shoot the ball, score a little bit, but also play some good perimeter defense. So I think he's going to be a very quality, you know, solid starter for this team possibly in the future. Not really sure. You can see the screenshot of the halftime. We were up 34-29, but I really think that Wesley Matthews can make it as a starter in the NBA. I mean, he's really got that potential, and if not, I mean, he's your perfect 6th man. He comes off the bench, gives you some scoring, gives you some defense. You know, what else can you ask for from a guy coming off the bench? I mean, honestly, I think that Wesley Matthews has found his place in the NBA. I believe he went undrafted out of college, so, you know, obviously the odds were against him coming in, but he's really found a home here in Portland. I think he could be a key part to the future. We'll see about that. Now, I also want to talk about J.J. Hickson, and I want to talk about J.J. Hickson because I don't understand why this guy hasn't been on a team for the last, like, 3 years. He just keeps moving around. He went from Cleveland to, I believe, Sacramento, and then got waived and was on, what team was he on at the end of last year? I can't quite remember. And I don't even remember if he was on Sacramento at the end of last year, but I think he was on Sacramento, and then he got waived, and he got signed by somebody for the end of the year, and it didn't last long, and now he's in Portland, and I can't figure out why no one likes this guy. I mean, as I'm recording this commentary, it's Tuesday. Last Monday, he just had a 19-point, 18-rebound game. I mean, he came into the league when he was drafted by the Cavaliers. He was looking like the guy that can maybe run with LeBron and be the two stars of the Cavaliers. He never really panned out in Cleveland, but you know what? Ever since then, he's been a really solid player. I don't know why people haven't looked into this guy. I mean, he's really good. Still got some potential left. He's still pretty young. He came into this league as a very raw player, and it looks like he's starting to develop a little bit into the player we all thought he could be, or at least Cavaliers fans thought he could be. But anyway, I think Matthews and Hickson could possibly find their way onto this team for the next couple of years, possibly into the future for this organization. As for the rest of the team, you know, Myers Leonard was their other first-round draft pick. I don't really know what to say about him. He hasn't impressed me too much so far. But, you know, obviously he was picked 11th or whatever for a reason, so we'll have to see if he can develop into a solid player. Nolan Smith is a point guard out of Duke, who obviously I'm a big I am obviously a big Duke Blue Devils fan, and I love Nolan Smith. He was great at Duke. I don't know if he's ever going to find his way into the NBA as a role player, but, you know, he's gotten some minutes here or there in Portland, and he seems to have done alright in those minutes when he gets them, so hopefully he can stick around for a while. I really like Nolan Smith. And the Portland Trail Blazers are actually the team that signed Adam Morrison in the preseason. So Adam Morrison, if you guys don't know who he is one of the biggest draft busts of all time. He was drafted by the Charlotte Bobcats. He's one of MJ's bad, you know, draft picks. Traded to LA and then was out of the league in like 3 or 4 years. Now, he had a great summer league with the LA Clippers and was signed by the Trailblazers coming into the preseason. He said that if he did not make the preseason, or if he did not make the regular season roster, he would retire, and he was cut by the Trailblazers. I was really rooting for this guy. I really loved Adam Morrison at Gonzaga. He's one of my favorite players when he was there, and I really wish he would come back in the NBA. But, you know, he's just the type of guy that really all he does for you is shoot, and those guys, you know, they can find a place in the NBA sometimes, but, I mean, you got to be pretty good at it, you know. Adam Morrison was no Steve Novak, to put it simply. But anyway, as for the rest of this roster, you know, I kind of like Luka Babbitt, I think he's pronounced. Jared Jeffries was decent for the Knicks. Let's see, Ronnie Price, Elliot Williams. Sasha Pavlovich was, yeah, he's pretty bad when he was on the Celtics. So, you know, I think that where the Trailblazers are lacking is depth for this team. I think they have a couple pieces. You know, Aldridge is going to be there for the future. I think I don't know if he has a max contract, but he's pretty close up there. It says his salary's $14 million. You know, Batum's going to be there for a while. He's got a 4-year deal. Lillard's locked in for the next 4 years if they pick up his team options for the 3rd and 4th year. So you got 3 guys who are there for the next couple of years. And I think you have a base to build around. So I really like what the Trailblazers have done. They kind of cut the rebuilding phase short. I mean, they were in the playoffs 2 years ago when they lost to the Mavericks in the first round before the Mavericks went out to win the NBA championship. And last year they were out of the playoffs. They're probably not going to make the playoffs this year, but I really like this team. I really think it has a bright future. I think they got to put some players around their base, and then they can start thinking about playoffs and maybe even being contenders in the West. But I think if Batum continues to do what he's doing, if Aldridge continues to do what he's doing, if Lillard develops into the point guard that seems like people think he's going to be, if Matthews and Hickson keep doing, you know, do their jobs, I like this team. I really do, and that's pretty much all I have to say about this team. Matthews ended up at 27, as you can see there, and you look at the box scores. But anyway, after this box score, I'm just going to leave you guys with the player of the game highlights. So let me know what you think of the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't know what team is up for next week, but anyway, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me. You can see this guy didn't actually cheese with Melo too much, only 17 points. Usually when you play online, guys have like 30 points with Melo, and it's really annoying. But anyway, and you can see Pablo Prigioni is in the game. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.
My sodium going on a full moon. I was bred to get it in, no spoon. Look what he's been through. He deserves an applause.
So amazing, so amazing, so amazing. It's amazing, so amazing.